Hello, welcome back to Commerce Easy Notes. Today we are going to discuss on standard costing. Standard costing is a costing method that is used to compare standard cost and revenues with the actual result in order to arrive at the variances along with its causes, to inform the management about the deviations and take corrective measures for its improvement. We know standard costing is one of the technique of costing where we set expected standards for cost as well as revenues, and the actual records are measured, and then the variances are studied, what are the causes, and then deviations are informed to the management, and necessary corrective actions are taken for improving the result. Now, definition of CMA London says predetermined cost based on a technical estimate for material, labor and overhead for a selected period of time and for prescribed set of working conditions is called standard costing. Here the technical estimates for material, labor, overhead for a selected period of time for a prescribed set of working conditions are analyzed, and expected expenses and revenues are stated out. That is what a standard costing is. The objectives of standard costing include mainly for cost control, management by exception, develops cost conscious attitude. It is very much useful for fixation of prices of the materials and for fixing prices and formulating policies. And then management planning. The top level management can make major plans with setting out standard costing properly. These are the advantages of standard costing: to measure the efficiency of the working conditions, to fix prices and formulate policies, mainly to top management, for effective cost control system, for management by exceptions, valuation of stocks, and cost consciousness. It bring out cost consciousness, that is less or more, but we are assigning our expected cost. So this, then the actual calculations are gone, we'll see what are the variances. That brings out the cost consciousness among the employees and provides incentive calculations easier, much easier for making calculations for incentives and providing these incentive in profit to employees. So these are the main advantages of standard costing. Difference between standard costing and budgetary control. On the basis, standard costing is cost determined technical information. It is planned, cost and expected in future. Whereas in budgetary costing, it is based on past records and expenses. The concept includes standard as set and in a unit concept. Budgetary is total concept. The scope standard is set for expenditure only, whereas in budgetary costing, the scope includes different functional departments. We have known in the previous videos that centers are assigned for budgetary costing. Therefore, each purchase, sales and finance scope is different. The time frame for standard costing, no specific time frame, long time or else revision is needed. Whereas in budgetary, specific time period is set. The approach for standard costing is intensive and concentrated on each element, whereas in budgetary it is extensive and it is meant for department. The nature of cost, what cost should be, the specified circumstance, what will be the cost, should be the cost is assigned or speak out in standard costing, whereas budgetary it is what will be. The forecasting, it cannot. In standard costing, it does not have a goal like forecasting. But budgetary, it is the only best goal that can be used, the expected cost and revenues. In standard, we are setting the standard. For this much producing product, what would be the standard cost? Whereas in budgetary, what can be the expected cost are assigned. Limitations of standard costing include setting the standard is a very difficult job. Therefore, it need high degree of technical skill. Whereas standard must be revised from time to time. So they are losing the importance according to certain period or circumstances. It changes. Therefore, it should be properly revised. And it cannot implement it in those industries which do not produce a standard product. In case of industries where they don't have a standard product, it is very difficult to introduce standard costing. It cannot be implemented in those industries which do not produce any standard product. Therefore, in case of firms where it does not produce any standard product, it becomes difficult. And sometimes it's creates an adverse psychological effect for setting up a high level for non-achievement result in frustration and discouragement among the employees that may affect an adverse effect on the employees. And it become too much care and attention is required for introducing and keep up to the date. This system requires so much attention and care for introducing and updating the system. Otherwise, it becomes total failure and it result a negative impact and bring out frustration among the employees. So these are the limitations of standard costing. That's all. Thank you for watching.